Hi, my name is Alex. I always loved books, but I never imagined one book could change my life. I spent most of my afternoons in the small library near my home. The library was quiet, old, and smelled like paper and time. It had shelves taller than me and books I could not even reach. Some of the books looked magical, but I always thought magic belonged only in stories. One rainy afternoon, I found a small door behind a shelf. I had never noticed it before. Curious, I opened the door slowly. Inside, there was a tiny room with one desk and one book on it. The book was unusual. Its cover shimmered slightly, and strange letters appeared and disappeared as I watched. I felt nervous, but I could not resist opening it. As I opened the book, words on the pages started to change. Some words were in English, but others seemed to move and shift before my eyes. I tried to read slowly, but I realized I could not understand every word. "I don't understand yet," I whispered. I took a deep breath. I wanted to read, but I knew something special was happening. This was no ordinary book. I felt that if I could understand it, even a little, something incredible would happen. I remembered my English lessons and decided to try without translating everything in my head. Maybe I just need to feel the meaning, I thought. If you are watching, turn on subtitles and repeat sentences with me. Today, you will follow my story and learn English at the same time. Don't worry if you don't understand everything. Even small steps will open new doors, just like this tiny room in the library. And so, with curiosity and a little fear, I started reading the magical book. I didn't know it yet, but this book would take me to worlds I never imagined, and every word I understood would help me travel farther. The moment I read the first sentence, something strange happened. The letters on the page shifted into English completely, but the words moved slightly, like they were alive. "What does this mean?" I whispered. I tried reading slowly, one word at a time. But the book was clever. It would change again if I paused too long. I realized I could not rely on translating every word in my head. If I tried, the words would move faster, almost like the book was challenging me. I need to understand the meaning, not just the words, I said to myself. My heart was beating fast. I had never been so focused on a book before. The first sentence I read was simple. "The door is open, but the path is hidden." I repeated it aloud. "The door is open, but the path is hidden." I noticed that, when I said the sentence clearly, the words on the page stayed still. Then, I tried the next sentence. "Look carefully, and you will see." I read it slowly and felt a strange warmth in my chest. It was like the book was alive. I started understanding more than just the words. I understood the idea, the feeling, and the instructions. A small glowing light appeared above the page. I gasped. The book was not only magical, it reacted to my understanding. I whispered, "It makes sense now." I felt proud, but also nervous. What would happen if I read the next page? I repeated the sentences a few times, practicing pronunciation and meaning. Even though some words were difficult, I realized I could feel the meaning without translating. This was new for me. I understood that every word I learned opened a little door in my mind, and then it happened. The room felt different. The walls seemed to stretch, and the air became warmer. The sentences glowed brighter. I could feel that I was close to discovering something incredible. Something beyond the library, beyond the pages. Suddenly, a soft voice spoke. "Do you understand?" it asked. I looked around. There was no one in the room, only the book and the glowing light. I whispered, "I think so." The light grew brighter, and the room changed. The walls melted into colors, and a small door appeared in front of me. I could see a strange landscape outside. It looked like a world made of clouds and sparkling rivers. My heart raced. I had read sentences correctly, and now something incredible was happening. I stepped closer to the door. Should I go? I asked myself. The voice replied gently, "Yes, if you are ready." I took a deep breath. Slowly, I stepped through the door. The world outside was magical. Trees floated in the air, and streams of light flowed like water. Strange creatures walked on paths made of light. I was amazed, but also careful. I wanted to explore, but I had to remember the lessons from the book. The voice guided me again. Read the sentences. Speak them aloud. I practiced. The path is open. I understand the rules. Each time I spoke clearly, the world became more stable. Paths appeared, creatures looked friendly, and I could walk safely. I realized the magic was connected to understanding. Every sentence I pronounced correctly helped me control the world. If I made mistakes, the ground shook slightly, and the air shimmered. I had to focus, but I felt excitement instead of fear. This was my first portal. I knew more portals were waiting, and every new one would require more words, more understanding. I was ready to continue, because the book was not finished. My adventure had just begun. The world inside the book was unlike anything I had ever seen. Hills floated in the sky, and waterfalls shimmered with colors I could not name. I walked along a glowing path, trying to remember all the sentences I had practiced. The creatures around me seemed curious, but not dangerous. I repeated phrases aloud. I see the path. I understand the world. The words helped me interact with this magical environment. A small creature, like a fox with golden wings, approached me. It said, "Hello, traveler." I was surprised.
"Hello," I replied, trying to sound confident. The creature nodded.
"You speak well." "Keep learning." I smiled. Speaking English in this world felt natural, like magic itself depended on my words. As I explored, I noticed signs with sentences. Follow the light. Speak clearly. I practiced reading them aloud. Each time I read a sign correctly, something in the world responded. Bridges appeared, doors opened, and paths became visible. I realized that understanding the sentences was more than reading. I had to feel the meaning, say it aloud, and connect it to what I saw. The book was teaching me, but also challenging me. I tried longer sentences. If I speak correctly, the world will become stable. If I do not understand, it will change. At first, I stumbled, but I repeated the sentences slowly. Finally, I said them clearly, and the world glowed warmly. I felt proud. Every creature I met seemed to respond to my words. I learned greetings, simple questions, and short instructions. Even when I made mistakes, I laughed and tried again. I realized learning English could be an adventure, just like this magical world. By the time I stopped to rest, I understood that this world, and perhaps others, depended on my words and understanding. I was ready for the challenges ahead, and I knew every new sentence would take me farther. As I walked deeper, I came across a large gate with a glowing lock. A sentence was written in golden letters. Speak the truth, and the path will open. I read it aloud slowly. Speak the truth, and the path will open. The letters shimmered, but the gate remained closed. I tried again, focusing on meaning instead of translation. Speak the truth, and the path will open. The glow intensified. I felt my heart beat faster. The voice whispered, "Good. Keep trying." I realized I had to speak clearly and understand each word. Mistakes caused the letters to shake, and the gate pulsed with light. I repeated the sentence several times, each time feeling more confident. Finally, the gate opened. I stepped through and saw a new path, wider and brighter than before. I whispered to myself, "It makes sense. I understand now." The voice agreed, "Well done." Through this challenge, I practiced phrases like, "I don't understand yet," "Read it again," and "Try one more time." Each repetition helped me connect words to meaning, not translation. I felt proud. Every step in this magical world now depended on my understanding. Even a small mistake was a lesson. I realized that practice, patience, and focus were more important than speed or perfection. With the gate behind me, I felt a new sense of control. I knew other challenges awaited, but I was ready. The magical book was teaching me, and I was learning faster than ever before. A soft, melodic voice spoke again. "Alex, you are learning well. Listen carefully." I looked around but saw no one. "Who are you?" I asked. "I am here to guide you," the voice replied. "Each word you speak creates your path. Each phrase you understand opens a new door. I listened closely. The voice repeated sentences slowly. I understand the meaning. I can speak clearly. I repeated them aloud. The world responded. Bridges appeared. Floating lights guided me. I realized the voice was teaching not only English, but confidence. Mistakes were okay. Focus and understanding were the key. I tried longer sentences. If I understand the words, I can control the world. The voice nodded. We practiced together. I learned to say, "It makes sense. I don't understand yet. Try one more time." I noticed creatures reacting to my words. They smiled, moved aside, and guided me. The voice encouraged me to connect phrases to actions. Speak, and the world will follow, it said. I understood. Learning English could be magical, and speaking with meaning mattered more than perfect grammar. By the time I rested, I had learned new sentences, practiced pronunciation, and connected meaning with action. I felt ready for the next challenge. The voice promised that each new portal would teach me more. The final challenge of this world appeared. A glowing bridge led to a high tower. Another sentence shimmered, "Only those who understand may pass." I read it aloud. "Only those who understand may pass." The bridge wobbled slightly. I repeated the sentence. "Only those who understand may pass." Each repetition made the bridge stronger. I walked carefully, feeling proud. At the top, a magical creature greeted me. "You have learned well," it said. I smiled. "Thank you." I tried to understand, not just translate. The creature nodded and pointed to a new portal. I practiced more phrases aloud. "I understand the rules. I can speak clearly. I am ready." The portal glowed, and I felt warmth and confidence. I realized the first world had tested my understanding and focus. Each challenge strengthened my skills. Speaking aloud, feeling the meaning, and practicing patiently helped me master sentences I struggled with before. The portal opened wider. I took a deep breath and stepped forward. I was ready to discover the next world. Every sentence I read aloud now created possibilities. Mistakes were lessons. Understanding was power. The voice whispered, "Well done, Alex. Every world will teach you more. Keep speaking. Keep learning." I stood at the entrance of the next world, looking back at the floating bridge. I felt proud and amazed. I realized learning English was like traveling through this magical world. Each sentence I understood opened doors. Each word mattered, and mistakes were part of the adventure. I repeated quietly, "I understand the meaning. I am learning. I will continue." The voice agreed softly, "Yes, Alex. Keep practicing." I thought about the library, the book, the glowing portals, and the magical creatures. All of it taught me that understanding is more important than translating. Feeling the meaning, saying sentences aloud, and practicing patiently were the keys. If you are watching, remember this. Every small step in English opens a new world. Repeat the sentences you hear. Speak aloud. Practice. Don't worry about mistakes. Each attempt brings you closer to understanding. As I stepped into the next world, I felt ready for the new challenges. More words, more sentences, more adventures awaited. I smiled. Learning English was no longer a challenge, it was an adventure. And so, the journey continued. Each page, each sentence, each world taught me something new. And you can do the same. Speak, understand, and discover. Every word is a door, and every sentence a bridge to a new world.